Hey everyone, welcome to Coffee with Changemakers. I'm Robin.
And I'm Yoshi. On the Coffee with Changemakers podcast, we explore the stories of changemakers taking on some of today's biggest social and environmental challenges.
Every episode, we host an intimate conversation on social impact and leadership, where we listen, learn, and connect over a cup of coffee with inspiring guests from all over the world.
So before we jump into today's episode, we have a quick ask. If you enjoy our conversations, it would mean the world to us if you subscribe, rate, and perhaps even tell a friend about the show. Your support helps us bring even more inspiring guests onto future episodes.
So, here's today's coffee chat. Enjoy.
All right, hi everyone. So today we'll be speaking with Kei Ikegami, founder and CEO of Planet Savers. So Kei is a serial entrepreneur who launched the first Japanese direct air capture startup, Planet Savers, just last year in 2023. And prior to that, he was a founder of a leadership education startup called Mirairing, which recently exited in an M&A deal. Kei has experience in a wide range of international infrastructure development projects, as well as public policy advisory work experience in the Middle East at JICA, the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, as well as global deep tech business development experience at SoftBank Robotics. Kei holds a Master's of Public Policy degree from the Kyoto University, as well as an MBA from the University of Cambridge. We're excited to welcome you onto the podcast, Kei. How's it going? How are you doing?
Hi, Yoshi. Hi, Robin. Thank you very much for the invitation. Yeah, I'm doing well. So,
Great.
I'm very excited to join this call.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for making time for this, man. I mean, you have been sort of blowing up on my social media feed lately on Facebook and also on LinkedIn. I'm really excited for you and the startup that you just created last year. But I feel like, you guys have made so much progress within the limited time span. So I'm really excited to hear your story, the background, what you're your product and how you're trying to impact the world. But before we dive into that, I kind of want to take a step back and start off with your background and your motivation of why you started this whole thing. So could you maybe start off by sharing your background, where you grew up, what kind of experience you had before starting the startup?
Sure. So, well, how fast should I go back? I mean, well, I was born in Kobe and grown up in Osaka, small town
Okay.
called Mino. Yeah.
Okay.
And I had been, staying in Osaka till high school. But
Okay.
actually, I decided to go to US for exchange. And I was staying in Washington State. It was like two hours drive from Seattle. And actually, it was, for me, great opportunity to have a more like global mindset. And also in US, I could take a business education even as a high school. So, and also there was a more like wide range of discussions related to contemporary issues in US and global. So actually it affected a lot. And so I wanted to go to the university in US, but actually I came back to Japan because at that moment we didn't really have a lot of options to cover the tuitions. Yeah, and I went to Kyoto University and studied international politics and decided to work for JICA because I wanted to bring an impact, especially into the developing countries at the moment. And I was involved in the infrastructure development like electricity power plants and like metro or water treatment facilities, and also the public policy development in these countries. But actually, I felt it's better to move to the private sector, especially with technology development and startup. Because even working in Egypt, I found there are more and more startups trying to create new technology to bring the impact into the society. So that's why I choose to go to Cambridge for MBA, where many startups coming up and also new technologies coming up. And it was quite eye-opening experience for me because I had been involved mainly in the public sector, but I could learn a lot about technology and also business, and that's why I got more interested in entrepreneurship to start my company by myself. But I thought it's better to come back to the Japan and learn business in the real life. So that's why I joined SoftBank. At that moment, SoftBank Robotics was quite active in developing the global business with robotics technology. So yeah, it was an interesting journey. But meanwhile, I wanted to start my company and also create impact by myself. So that's why I started my company Mirang. But again, I wanted to bring more impact by myself. And I thought, yeah, climate technology is what we really need now. So that's why, yeah, I launched the current company, Planet Savers. Well, maybe I spoke too much, but yeah,
No,
that's
no.
my
That was
journey.
perfect. That was perfect. Wow. So you kind of went from, having experienced education outside of Japan and the US, and also in the UK later on. And you have experience in international development, which is a field that I'm very passionate about. And then you switched to private sector, and then you went into education, and then now you're in like climate tech, right? So I guess, could you maybe sort of explain the backdrop or the story behind Planet Savers? I mean, first of all, where did the name come from? Why Planet Savers? I mean, it's a really catchy name. I mean, once I remember, I'll never forget it. But I just wondering if you had an interesting story behind that.
Yeah, well, actually, we spent a lot of time deciding the name. I think we spent like 2 or 3 months
Wow.
doing brainstorming. At the beginning, actually, we thought about name more simple, like CO2 removal related, like carbon capture. Actually, when we see the global, you know, competitors, most of their name is more, direct, like carbon capture. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
actually, we thought it's better to make it wide, because we want not only doing the direct air capture in the future, we also want to develop new technologies to help mitigating the climate change, and also perhaps doing something not only is climate change but related to the sustainability. For example, like water, water treatment, or I don't know, some more some more things. So that's why we made something more wide general name, but which makes direct sense. That's why we came up with the name Private Savers. Well,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
I don't know why we came up with the name, but yeah, we had a lot of ideas, and Private Savers was one of them.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think that totally makes sense because environmental issues are just so complex and multifaceted that if you peg your name to like one specific theme, then you can't really pivot out of it. Whereas if you keep it broad, like if you say Planet Savers, there's just so much room for exploration and things that you can do in the future, right? So to me,
Yeah.
I think it makes perfect sense there. But I'm really interested. Like, was there like a pivotal moment, like for example, when you were in the education field, where you're like, with these youth who I'm providing leadership education for, like I want them to sort of be more be more interested in environmental issues, for example? Like, was there like, or was it like the meeting with your co-founder, who I know is a really talented researcher? Like, what was the pivotal moment where you sort of decided, okay, carbon capture, emissions is a thing I want to focus on?
Well, there are several things, but first, when I talked with high school students through my education company, I was kind of not impressed, but how say, got some emotions in my side, saying I should do something, not leaving the issue to their generation. Rather, our generation should solve the issues. I mean, high schoolers are really now interested in sustainability, SDGs, sustainabilities, and they're very talented and trying to come up with the idea and trying to study the university about related issues and solve the issue in the future. But actually, we can do that as well as our generation. And, I felt it's our responsibility to work on that from now, not in the future. I mean, at the beginning when I started my company, Mirang, I thought, we can make an impact through bringing up the Changemakers.
Right.
But after while doing it, meeting many talented youth, I also felt, I should do that. That's kind of a pivotal moment. And
amazing.
Also, doing the education startup, I found, there is some kind of decision-making timing for me to keep doing only education or try another business. Especially, after the COVID-19 got calmed. Many of the education environment changed. I mean, students went back to school and not doing the remote education anymore. And we had to pivot our education startups business model as well. So, I thought it's a kind of good timing for me to also consider about starting the new company.
I see.
I met my co-founder. So, I thought it's a great timing to start my new company and create the impact by myself.
Very cool. Very
amazing.
Cool.
Hey, I remember speaking with you in person maybe 2 years ago, and you were saying, I'm thinking of doing climate tech. And I was like, that sounds really cool. And now, this is all happening. So it's amazing to see this come to life. But
actually, one of the reason I got more interested was loving you. I mean, my Mizu.
Thank you.
I don't know if Yoshi knows, but our second education program created through the Mirang was together with my Mizu.
That's right.
It was of course a really great experience for my students, but also I learned a lot from my Mizu about passion, and also I got impressed. So thank you.
Thank you, Kei. I also learned a lot from taking part in that. So the feeling is definitely mutual. But I'd love to dive into the beginning of Planet Savers. So you mentioned that you founded the company, or you established the company last year. I think it was in July. And you said you also met your co-founder. And I think a lot of people listening to this podcast may be thinking of starting their own thing. So can you tell us a bit about what was that first step you taken, and how did it look after that? How was the process of building the company?
Okay. Thank you for your question. So, actually, I met with my co-founder Kenta in, I think, October 2022.
Okay.
So it was more than half year ago of the actual establishment date of the company. And before that, actually, okay, actually I started from studying about the climate change. I mean, I wasn't climate change specialist or the researcher or whatever. I didn't have the background. I mean, when I was in JICA, I was in charge of electricity and energy projects, energy-related projects, and I was in charge of developing renewable energy facilities and also the electricity master plan. But, it was like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, and there had been a lot of technological development, also the trends change. So I read a lot of books related to recent, status of the climate change and the related technologies. And then I got some ideas about the business field of the technologies. And one of them was direct capture, which I'm working on now. And of course, I don't have the technical background. So I thought it's best to actually make contact and meet with researchers, professors. And I made a long list of those people who are researching about the related technologies. And actually, Kenter was one of them. And he is very talented researcher in the zeolite field, like top scientist. So yeah, and when we met, we felt like a kind of long time friend, and also both of us got interested in what each other is doing. And after having several meetings, we decided to start our project. I mean, at that moment, we thought it's better to start from a project, not from, straight going to develop a company, because, it was our first time meeting and we didn't know each other that much. So we thought it's better to have some time to know more about us, whether we can work together. So we spent more than half a year working together, and he did some R&D, and I did submitting our application for the grants and also the accelerator programs, and talking with investors and to find the temperature. And we, after I think 8-9 months, we got accepted by several, great accelerator programs, and also a big grant, like in USD, it's 200K, in total. Yeah, so we thought it's time to create a company and fully working on the making this direct capture system.
That's very cool. I want to break down what you said in just two things. One is you started not with a company, but with a project, right? You have this vision to work together, but you don't want to dive maybe straight in, so you start with something small, and I think that's really a really powerful thing. And secondly, it sounds like you and Kenta-san have this kind of yin and yang, right? It sounds like Kenta-san has a lot of subject matter expertise in the technology side and in the science side, and of course you have the business and all of the relationships and so on that can help to move that forward. So it sounds like a really powerful combination. But when you started to apply for grants and things, did you find that there was a lot of support from the government, from companies? How did that process look like?
Well, okay, so, at that moment, we were kind of stealth mode. So we didn't have a company. So actually, we failed to get one of the big grants we wanted to get. But meanwhile, we got gradually get accepted by several accelerator programs, business competitions, and also we got new teammates who is working for the plant engineering companies, and we got more brushed up ideas about the machine we want to create. So yeah, with these development, we could appeal to their several grants and got accepted, and yeah, that's how it worked.
Got it. And in terms of the technology, I know that looking at your website, the goal is to make it a relatively low-cost, high-impact technology that captures carbon from the air. I believe it's under $100 per ton, or so. I'm sure you can speak in more detail about that. But maybe you can tell us a bit more about the technology and where it is right now, and what does the roadmap look like going forward?
Sure. So yeah, we are developing the direct air capture system, which consists of one zeolite-based innovative adsorbent and two modular direct air capture machine. So about the zeolite, it's a kind of porous material. So the zeolite captures CO2 into the pore, and actually my co-founder Kenter has been researching about zeolite for more than a decade, and his laboratory is one of the top zeolite synthesizing technology laboratory in the world. So we can make better zeolite which can absorb CO2 better, and also perhaps dissolve the CO2 easily. And actually, zeolite is quite durable. It can be used for more than 10 years, we expect. So it can reduce the maintenance cost as well. Wow. And we also developed a machine which is optimized for zeolite as adsorbent. I mean, there are several adsorbents used for the direct air capture currently. But each adsorbent has a different characteristics, and there are not so many direct air capture startups using zeolite so far, because zeolite is not easy to synthesize and use it. So we are trying to develop by ourselves to capture to make a machine which can capture 1 ton of CO2 per day, and we are trying to complete developing the prototype next year, maybe summer, and then sell our first machine in 2026, hopefully.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but probably our first product can't reach $100 per ton. Our target is to make $100 per ton CO2 capture by 2030. It's a kind of global target. US government is saying we should achieve $100 per ton by 2030, and we also aiming that. We are going to we are working on both developing better adsorbent and to create the prototype of the machine. That's the current status. Yeah.
I guess with these deep tech startups and deep tech new technology, it takes time, right? You have a lot of R&D, you have a lot of trial and error. I assume there's so many challenges while you're developing this kind of technology. But so far, what have been some of the main challenges that you've seen?
It's a good question. Well, so many challenges, but first, of course, it is quite difficult to develop the machine from scratch. Yeah, we were aiming to complete developing our bench scale machine within 2023, but actually it took longer. And also after making it, we found there are several issues it's getting bigger than we expected, or like running a laboratory machine, we found it's capturing less CO2 than we expected. And, all the things can be found through the deployment or, actual development. So as Robin, you said, kind of failing is quite important. I mean, move fast, fail fast, and achieve fast. That's what we believe is important. So yeah, but yeah, till the deployment, we can't really find the real performance and to deliver the actual product. So probably we have to, make fast and fail fast and achieve fast, kind of this cycle. That's first challenge we are facing. And second challenge is kind of market challenge. I mean, in Japan, we cannot store CO2 underground. It's a kind of regulation. And actually, the regulation is now got established this year, I think. But still we can't operate the carbon storage at this moment. It's gonna take like 6 years. Around 2030, the government is targeting to store CO2 underground. But actually, direct air capture, CO2 capture through the direct air capture is usually stored underground when we see the global market. So without that, it's quite difficult to open up the market. So we are trying very hard to talk with potential clients who might be interested in using the CO2 for example, like agricultural farming, greenhouse farming, or like using the CO2 in the concrete building making process. Yeah, so there are several use cases of CO2, but still, compared with the global market, it's quite premature status at this moment in Japan. So, yeah, this market challenge, is the second big thing. But anyways, we believe we can overcome these issues through, moving fast, very fast, and achieving fast.
Yeah. And in terms of the topic, right? Climate tech is such a hot topic right now, and there's many more and more investment funds, more government initiatives trying to support startups in the climate tech field in Japan. Has it been challenging to, for example, raise funds and get support for your initiative? How has that been for you as an entrepreneur?
Well, so actually, it's a difficult question. I mean, there is some difficulty because compared with, for example, like biotechnology or like agricultural technology, climate technology had been not really, focused in the past by the government and also the venture capitals. So in the beginning, it was a bit difficult to getting support, but gradually, luckily and thankfully, climate technology is getting more kind of interest by people and also the government and company. So yeah, I think the environment is getting better for us. And we are in a talk with the government to develop better support for not only direct capture but even including other carbon removal technologies. So yeah, of course, still compared with other deep technologies, climate technologies, bit as a difficult area to be supported. But we believe it will be changed in the coming years. And I'm sure, these, we can get more support from government and VCs and companies, corporates.
Yeah, and I should say here, maybe you're being modest, but congratulations on raising a significant funding as well for Planet Savers.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure that took a lot of work, but it's really exciting to see that there is serious, money being invested into this. And I think it shows the potential of the impact that you and your technology will make in the future. So congratulations from us. And in terms of going back to the challenges and successes, you've mentioned there are a few highlights, like the first step was getting this grant of roughly $200,000, and that kind of helped you start your journey. What have been some of the most rewarding moments for you? You've been doing this for a year, longer than that when you think of the whole journey, but what have been some of the highlights for you so far?
Highlights. Actually, well, of course, the fundraise is kind of a highlight. So we raised around 1.7 million US dollar from Japanese, biggest VC and quite prominent, not the impact investments fund, but kind of, climate tech focused VC. So we are really happy, pleased to get supported by these VCs. And well, it took, I think, 4 months to raise the fund. So it was quite rewarding after all. Actually, we drank last night with these investors, and we feel it was a great, team we got. So it's one thing. But second, probably getting new members. So because we could finalize the fundraise, we started recruiting scientists, engineers, and business side. So far, we got 2 full-time scientists, and also we are going to hire one very experienced engineer as a full-time from July. And we are still trying to find more engineers and also the business side person. And I'm quite impressed when I see these experienced, talented scientists and engineers decide to join our company and helping us to develop the product. It's for me, it's like a One Piece Luffy getting more and more great members, crews. It's like that kind of moment I'm feeling. So if there is anybody who wants to join Planet Savers, please let me know.
Please check out the careers page on Planet Savers.
Exactly.
Awesome. And Kei, speaking to you, you seem very, again, humble. You seem very calm, but it must also be difficult because it's quite a long-term game, right? Developing deep technology like direct air capture. This is a long-term effort for you and your company. So when times get hard, how do you keep moving forward? What gets you up in the morning to keep going forward? What's your main motivation?
Well, I don't know, actually, I'm really enjoying this startup. It's very exciting for me to work for this really innovative technology. So every morning I'm very energized. Well, sometimes I got kind of, drunk, but still, sometimes I got hangover, but still, I got refreshed and very excited every day to work for this, great journey. And sorry, I forgot to mention the reward, but about one thing about the reward, that's the progressing, R&D. We get really cool data from Cantor, or cool, ideas from the engineers working for, or other teammates. Every time I really get impressed by their work, and that's really rewarding, and that's kind of motivation I get, and I feel more, how to say, more energized to work hard to develop the business. Yeah. But meanwhile, actually, my daughter is kind of cheering me up every morning, of course.
Amazing.
Yeah. I got 8 months baby. Her name is Sarah. Yeah, she's so cute. She is very, how to say, happy girl. So yeah, every morning before starting work, I got energized by her as well. So yeah, it's a great,
beautiful
work-life balance, I would say.
Amazing. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
I want to ask just another question, because you mentioned Sarah and being a father. How has being a father changed your perspective on things? How has it changed you?
I'm not sure. I mean, I feel more responsible about myself, my company, and also, my work. I really feel we should leave we should mitigate the climate change. I'm seriously really concerned about the current, environmental change, climate change. When you are young, we didn't really have this kind of hot weather like every year and every day, and we had more spring. And I feel really sorry for the new generations who is not experience the same as we did in the past, and I feel more responsible after becoming the father, so that I feel we should work hard to leave a better future for the next generation. That's probably the change I feel now. But other than that, I think I'm not really changed. Probably.
Wow. No, I think you're just being humble there, but that's beautiful, Kei. So your new daughter, Sara, she's like feeling you now, and I feel like she's given you she's giving you the fuel to really power Planet Savers and turn it into a success. So that's really, really awesome to hear. And kind of going along that topic. So I know that there's been a lot of changes in your life, and obviously the birth of your daughter, Planet Savers, is there's a really two big changes in your life. But I feel like you are kind of unique, because Robin and I have now interviewed several serial entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, but you are actually a two-time entrepreneur, right? This is your second startup. And I feel like in Japan especially, it's quite rare, because unfortunately for a lot of entrepreneurs in Japan, from what I hear or from what I sense, when they fail the first time, they stop. They're like, "失敗した," or I failed, I shouldn't work in a startup again. Maybe I should go back to the corporate world. But in your case, you exited, so you succeeded, but you still had this energy to keep going and found a new company. And I'm sure there were a lot of reasons that went behind that, but I'm sure it's also changed you as a person along this journey, along the past couple of years. So kind of looking back, to the Kei Ikegami who was working for JICA versus the Kei Ikegami who was, starting up Mirairing versus the Kei Ikegami who is now, leading Planet Savers. How have you as an individual changed and evolved over the years?
Oh, it's a difficult question, but
we like difficult questions.
Actually, yeah, but actually, I had been always loving starting something new.
Okay.
When I was in high school, junior high and high school, I was doing the school council.
Right.
President of the school council, and I always try to do some new events or whatever. And also, when I was in United States, I launched a karate club because I have a black belt of karate.
Wow.
Well, it stopped within like 2 months, but anyways, yeah. At the beginning, I had a big number of, I'll say, students who took the karate class, and
nice.
In the university, well, it wasn't a business, but I launched my organization, student club, to invite the international youth to discuss about the international development in Japan. So yeah, and even in Japan, even in JICA, I was always trying to find new opportunities to develop the project, and also I made new, club activities inside JICA. So I feel I'm a kind of entrepreneur from the beginning. And so I don't know, but probably it's a nature or characteristics of each of the entrepreneur. But for me, it's more natural to launch project by myself rather than working for the company, I feel now. So yeah, actually Mirairing was quite interesting for me. It let me realize that I would be better working by myself, as a entrepreneur. And
gotcha.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the business journey, company creation journey with both Mirairing and Perseverance. So yeah, but I also feel, understand the difficulty of being the entrepreneur for a long time.
Yep.
Or especially, I don't know, if any long steps taken. For example, like started the company with long investor, or started the company with a field which is not really like from bottom of the heart. I cannot love. Maybe it's good. It can be a kind of exhausting experience, probably. Yeah. So probably it's each person's characteristics, nature, and also how the journey goes. But for me, I had a good journey for both the Mirairing and Placebo so far. So, well, in case if, I don't know, successfully, if I exit my Placebos, probably I will start another company.
Wow. かっこいいですね。To be able to say I was a born entrepreneur, like this is in my nature. It's really cool, or かっこいい. Okay. So I guess my next question is, what if you were to go through this journey again, and I'm talking about referring to both of your entrepreneurial experiences, Mirairing and what you've experienced so far at Planet Savers. Like, what would you do differently, and why? Is there anything that you would change from the journey that you've just experienced?
I don't know. I might have started not Planet Savers, but climate tech related startup from the beginning,
Oh, wow. Okay.
rather than the
Interesting.
education company. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well,
Huh.
I still have a passion for the education, and I'd
Yep.
like to contribute to the education, industry. But
Right.
meanwhile, uh, what I want to achieve can be more achieved by deep tech startup, I feel. So
I see.
yeah, I might spend more time doing another, climate tech or some other deep tech startup development. Actually, I was considering about developing food tech startup
Oh,
or
wow.
climate tech, but rather like a SaaS, uh, climate SaaS or ESG SaaS, when I
Mm.
started, the Mirai. Yeah. So
I
I
see.
don't know. I might have chosen these journeys, but I don't know. After saying that, uh, when I started Mirai, I was really passionate and I was really inclined to start education company. I felt
Mm.
I should do this. So I don't
Right.
know, maybe going back to that time, uh, probably I started the education company anyways.
You're
Let's
no,
see.
but I mean, you say that now, but I'm sure that the students that you impacted are extremely grateful that you did start Mirai and impacted the lives
Mm,
that, you did. And I'm sure they've been permanently changed, influenced for the better, right, Kay? So,
mm,
yeah, so it's really, really cool that you did that and now you're doing this. Last question for me in the
mm,
insights and reflections section, but um, maybe some of your students from Mirai might listen to this episode. So I was wondering, like, what sort of advice would you give young change makers, these young students, who
mm,
are trying to start their own project? It might start off as a project, turn into a
mm.
company, or their own endeavor. Like, yeah, what kind of advice or tips would you provide them? Would you share with them based from your
Mm.
experience?
That's a good question. I feel, well, two things. First, just do it. Yeah, if there
Nice.
is a passion, yeah, they should start, and our generation can support.
Mm,
I'm sure. I
mm.
mean, I'm sure if anyone listening to this uh podcast wants to start anything uh, interesting or bringing impact, I'm sure Yoshi and Robin will help you. So yeah, I mean, if you support something really right or needed for the society,
Mm,
someone will help.
mm,
And you might
100%.
you might fail, but failure can give you a lot of lectures. I mean, lot
Right.
of learnings you can get. So maybe you're afraid of the failures, but it's okay. Just fail. I mean, I had failed a lot of times, but it has been always a great learning. So
Mm,
yeah, I would recommend young social change makers to just start, launch, and test, and yeah, you can pivot, you can change after failing. So yeah, just do
wow.
that. That's first question, first advice. And second thing is, you don't have to do something you don't really feel passion or not really, how to say, getting energized. I mean, when we look at the succeeding entrepreneurs,
Right.
some of them started their company after working for a company for like decades.
Mm, mm, mm,
And
mm.
yeah, but actually they are making becoming successful through leveraging their experience, leveraging their networks from what they had been doing. So
Right.
if you want to be if someone wants to be a social change maker, you don't have to do that from the beginning, I mean, if it's difficult to find a passion, maybe you can just join any existing organizations which gives you experience and some ideas. Then maybe
Yeah.
you can have more has clear thoughts or find your passion, and then you can start the thing you really want to do. That's also a good way, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for those two key advice pieces. Okay.
I love that. Yes. So take action, and someone will help. And you don't have to do things right now. Right? You can go into another organization, learn, and then launch something later on if that works. And I think I saw some data recently where the average tech startup founder is something like 42. You know, it's actually extremely high or higher than we think in terms of the average age of startup founders. So life is long, it sounds like, and it's important to also just take action, and things will happen.
Exactly.
As we head towards the end of our chat, okay, we'd love to learn about what's in the horizon for you. What are some upcoming challenges or projects that you're going to be tackling for the next year or 2 years?
Well, so yeah, definitely we are gonna work on Planet Saver's dedicated project system development. So we have to do the R&D and deliver the prototype as soon as possible. So that's our focus. And also meanwhile, to develop the our business development in both Japan and abroad.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, we still have the business technological challenge and also the business challenge, but yeah, we will try to solve the both.
Brilliant. Great. Well, we're looking forward to seeing how that all unfolds in the coming years. So, Kei, I know you have to rush off to another meeting, but we really want to just thank you for your time and your insights. For those who are interested in Planet Savers and your work, where should they go to follow your journey?
So yeah, if you could follow us through the LinkedIn and also from the website, yeah, that's going to be great. And sometimes I tweet through Twitter. I mean X.
Okay, so check out Kei's X account, check out Planet Savers website and Planet Savers LinkedIn as well. And I think for me, this has been a really interesting conversation, Kei, because I've been following your journey since Miraying. I was, luckily part of the second program there that I really enjoyed. And it's been really amazing to see you go from strength to strength. I think one thing that has become very clear to me as we're speaking is that you're very humble, and you also have a lot of joy. That you've used the word energized many times, right? You can tell that you're really breathing and living your passion. So I've really enjoyed this conversation. I had no idea you were a black belt in karate, so I will not be messing with you in the future. But I'm really grateful for your time. Thank you, Kei. What about you, Yoshi? How was what were some key takeaways for you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kei-san, for your generosity. I mean, I think that, I'm sure a lot of us have heard of, move fast and break things, right? It's the famous sort of Facebook slogan. But I like your version, Kei, because yours is move fast, fail fast, and achieve fast, right? We shouldn't forget about the third piece, achieving things as we learn and fail. So thank you for iterating that very famous slogan. And also what you said at the very end about just getting things started, just doing it. I mean, for all of you audio listener, you can't see this, but I'm wearing a cap that says "Just do it." And so I'm living by your slogan, Kei-san. Like these days, I'm just, if there's something that I've always wanted to do, I just do it. Whether it be an activity, a new hobby, or even this, Coffee Changemakers is something that I've always wanted to do. And Robin's been awesome partner in this. So yeah, I hope that some of our listeners will find inspiration from some of the amazing points that you've raised and get started on their initiatives and projects that they've always had in their mind. So thank you, Kei.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So Okay, so to all of our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and share. We'll be back with more stories of impact very, very soon. So remember, coffee friends, the power to create change is in your hands. So keep leading the way, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Let's keep brewing change one cup of coffee at a time.